The Quran, there's nothing that says, I'm giving you comfort if you're hurting. The Quran says, do this, do that, do this, do that. But there in the Bible, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Wow.
It was like my heart was just electrified into life when I read that, and my life has never been the same.
The presupposition here is that a book which provides less comfort is less true. And this is a very unusual kind of arbitrary ad hoc presupposition. It's not backed by any kind of logical, mathematical, scientific, psychological principle of any kind.
It doesn't make any sense, to be honest.
It doesn't make any sense at all. And if this was the case, that the more a book provides comfort, the more true it may be, then there are many books that provide more comfort than all three major Abrahamic religions altogether. So therefore, would you say that that is a more true book than those ones if they were attributed to God? So it's a very unusual kind of barometer for truth. The second thing I will say is actually it's a false statement in the first place, because the Quran does provide consolation and comfort to the believers in many different verses. And for example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, where it's mentioned that if my slave asks about me, then I am near. I answer the call of the caller when he calls. So this is actually open. Anybody who calls to God, that God will respond to them. That's why Allah mentions in Surah Al-Layl, chapter 92 of the Quran, certainly to us as guidance. So in other words, the door of God is always open. The door of mercy is always open. And on this point, actually, Allah mentions in Surah Al-Zumar, chapter number 39 of the Quran, that say, "O my slaves who have transgressed against themselves, do not despair from the mercy of God, because Allah forgives all sins." And Allah mentions, in fact, in Surah Yusuf, in chapter 12 of the Quran, that no one actually despairs from the mercy of God except for the disbelieving people. So there's actually a harsh tone with those who don't believe that God can forgive. And many, 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 many other verses.